morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome to your Saturday, April 1, 2023. This is not an April Fool's joke. I wish that it was. We do have severe weather out there this morning, and so we're going to give you a quick update. We were with you about 30, 40 minutes ago, and at that time I told you about the brand new tornado watch that has been issued, now about an hour and a half ago, which does cover northwest Georgia and portions of east central Alabama. And a good chunk of central Alabama. This watch is in effect until 8 a.m. this morning. And across East Alabama and West Georgia, the watch covers Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, Clay, Randolph, Coosa, Tallapoosa, and Elmore counties. It does not. It also covers Carroll County in West Georgia. It does not include Heard, Troup, Chambers, Lee, or Harris at this hour. We will see what happens as we go throughout the morning. There's always that chance that the counties that are not covered by the watch will be included at some point, depending on what the storms do. Now, when we joined you about an hour and a half ago, we had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and then we also had several tornado warnings in effect back up around Hartselle, Alabama, and near Huntsville and down toward Coleman. And we are getting reports that there is some damage up there this morning. But since that time, we have noticed the trend here has been less and less severe weather warnings for this line of thunderstorms, which is an indication to us that this line of storms is in the process of weakening, which is exactly what the forecast was as these lines move into East Alabama and West Georgia. So I think that is in the process of happening. Now, what's different versus when you went to bed last night is that this line of thunderstorms is moving into East Alabama about 2 to 3 hours behind schedule. So we're looking at right about sunrise when the main line moves into the area, which means the sun's coming up. We're beginning to get a little heating of the day going. I think the storms will still skirt through here before we have enough daylight to get any surface-based instability going. But, the closer to sunrise or shortly after sunrise we get, then we start to see that opportunity for these storms to ramp back up. Again, I think they're out of here before that happens, but it's going to be a close call. So having said all of that, I don't think the severe threat is as high as it may have been at one time. But it's not zero, so we have got to continue to watch this until we can push these storms out of the area. Let me go up here and start on the north end, then we're going to switch from Atlanta to Birmingham. We'll show you what's happening in Alabama. We do have one tornado warning that's active at the moment. This is up in the state of Tennessee. This is just north and west of Cleveland, Tennessee. A lot of folks know where that's at. We have a thunderstorm cell up there that is potentially producing a tornado this morning between Calhoun and Cleveland, Tennessee. And then as we come down into North Georgia, lots of thunder and lightning taking place this morning across northwest Georgia. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect up there just north of Tunnel Hill. And then a special weather statement that has just been issued for cells sitting right there on I-75 just south of Dalton. That'll continue on off to the east, heads up Blue Ridge. And then as we work back into Alabama, we have a special weather statement now. I believe that's going to be northern Cherokee. Yes, northeast Cherokee until 5:15 a.m. this morning. That's a special weather statement. Then as we move on down the line, we have a new special weather statement that's just been issued for the greater Gadsden area for 40-mile-per-hour winds and hail up to a quarter-inch in size. And then further on down the line, we're going to have to switch back to Birmingham to get a better look at it in Alabama. So let's do that right quick. And then we'll go back up here and we'll continue down the line. That line of storms, it's strong. But once we get away from the Gadsden area and continue southwest, we're below severe limits at the moment. Very heavy rain now in Aniana, about to move into Springville, Warrior, Gardendale, the northern burbs of Birmingham, Summerton, all the way back down to just south of Parrish. And then the line kind of breaks up a bit, and then we see more clusters of heavy thunderstorms north of Carrollton, Alabama, and over near Columbus, Mississippi. Then I'm going to zoom out just a tad and show you that we have a secondary line, or I should say this is the first line that's trying to get going. The secondary line would be the one that really carries that severe threat with it. But heavy rain up there around Anniston now and back over towards Cedartown in northwest Georgia, and maybe a few showers there in northern Randolph, back over across northern Clay, southern Cleburne, Sylacauga, Talladega. But those storms are not severe. If we have severe weather, we would expect it along that secondary line, which is the main line that's still positioned north of Birmingham. So while we don't have an immediate looming threat of severe weather, we can't give you the all clear yet because we haven't gotten this line of thunderstorms through the area. The threat is still there, though I think these storms are in the process of weakening as they push toward East Alabama and West Georgia. So that's kind of the update on where we are at this hour. If you've been watching television when you went to bed last night, just massive devastation, lots of injuries and even fatalities reported anywhere from Wisconsin down in through Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, northern Mississippi. Memphis just got hammered with multiple severe thunderstorms producing possible tornadoes. And we saw severe weather warnings all the way down to Houston, Texas last night. Just a massive area of severe weather. So when you went to bed last night, things looked pretty ominous, and they were for that part of the country. But now that this line is moving into Alabama, we're beginning to see what appears to be a weakening trend of this line of storms as it moves into central Alabama, which is just exactly what we were forecasting and what we expected to happen is coming to fruition this morning. So let me jump over here in the chat room and see if we have any comments, questions, or concerns this morning. Will Roanoke see a tornado threat, do you think? Well, I hope I just answered that question for you. I cannot tell you that there is zero threat of a tornado in Roanoke, but I don't think it's a significant risk of seeing a tornado in Roanoke this morning. But you can't let your guard down. We've got to watch and pay attention and maintain situational awareness until we get this line of storms through the area, because anything is possible. So we have a new alert. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun County in Alabama. So let me go up here and take a look at that right quick. That's just coming in from the National Weather Service. Has not populated yet, but it may be. If it's Calhoun, it's going to have to be for this thunderstorm up here between Anniston and Jacksonville. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find the verbiage on this. Severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun, Cherokee, and Etowah. No, it's going to be that storm up there around Gadsden. Okay, there it is. It just popped. So it's going to be the extreme northern part of Calhoun. Then it gets portions of Cherokee. And it's going to be that storm around Gadsden that's moving on off to the east. So heads up center, heads up Gadsden. Let's see what else we got up here. Piedmont, you're in this severe thunderstorm warning. Galesville, Center, and then in Georgia, Cave Springs, Cedartown. Watch out for this thunderstorm coming at you from the west. And again, in this environment that we have this morning, you already know how windy it is out there. This thunderstorm could quickly be upgraded to a tornado warning. I'm just going to read the text of this for you. Severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Calhoun County Etowah County and Cherokee County in northeast Alabama until 6 a.m. this morning. At 5:11, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from Sandrock to Rainbow City, moving to the east at around 60 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as it moves on off to the east this morning. So there is no tornado tag on this severe thunderstorm warning, so that's good. We'll peek into it and take a look at the velocity right quick and see if there's anything. I don't see anything of any concern right there. Probably some rotation on the on right down here just north of Steele. But hey, like you hear me say all the time, if it wasn't rotating, it wouldn't be a thunderstorm. That is very common. But nothing that indicates a tornado at this time on that particular storm. So zoom back out, and you'll see that, boy, with every sweep of the beam there, we're seeing these storms fill in out ahead of that main line. And that's not a bad thing. That rain, if we could get some good, heavy, steady rain falling before that line gets here, that will help stabilize the atmosphere before the main energy moves across the area. So that may help us if we can continue to see those showers and thunderstorms fill in across East Alabama and West Georgia. Okay, Michael is posting that up in Etowah County, the fire department is en route to a house that's been damaged, and there may be folks trapped inside. Of course, we don't have any information there, but a lot of times that is caused by downed trees that fall on homes. Of course, it could be wind damage from a tornado. In an environment like this, you really should treat severe thunderstorm warnings just like their tornado warnings, because a quick spin-up tornado can drop from a thunderstorm, and Weather Service has very little opportunity to warn you. So anytime you go under any type of warning during the spring in the South, treat it as though it's a tornado warning. That's the course of least regret, and that's the way you want to go with this thing. Good morning, Frog Eye, Alabama. You're mostly welcome, Jody. Appreciate you. Also getting reports from Alexander Drive, which is in the same area, so this may be more than just a few trees down. Thanks for that report, Michael. Good morning, Amy. Thank you. Barfield in the hood. Good morning, Sandra. Thank you, Mook. I appreciate your kind words. Good morning, Deborah in Wadawi. There's a certain way you have to say Wadawi. You can't say Wedawi. It's Wadawi. A lot of you were too young to remember, but we had a little incident happen in Randolph County back in the day, and Dan Rather, who was a national news broadcaster, pronounced it Wadui. Yeah, you got correct quickly. Good morning, Dan Smith. Power lines and trees down all over the city of Sardis. And that's this nasty storm up here coming into Gadsden this morning. Rainbow City, or Reese City, Atala, Gadsden, Steele, Rainbow City, Glencoe, Hoax Bluff, all of you folks up here in the Gadsden metro area, hunker down. This is a nasty looking storm moving into the area. Again, it's actually there we go. They have not issued a tornado warning on this storm, but we are beginning to see quite a few reports of damage up there. I'm in the National Weather Service chat room. They haven't posted They have not posted any damage reports in the chat room just yet, but we're watching it for you. They are discussing that they did see, they are watching weak rotation in the southwest corner of Etowah County and did notice a slight CC drop in the far northern Etowah earlier. So we may have two different areas of rotation on this storm. Again, nothing that indicates a tornado at the moment, but down here around Steele or just northeast of Steele now. And then also up here in the northern portions of the county, which will affect Center and Cedar Bluff. We may have a little rotation up there also. Thanks, Pat. Good morning to you. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate it. Thank you, Diane. Good morning, Chrissy. Christy. Woodland, Alabama. You can expect showers and thunderstorms. We have some showers developing now in northern Randolph, from Wedowee all the way up to the Cleburne County line. It may not be raining in Woodland just yet, but you've got some showers around. That's just light stuff for the most part. But all these showers and thunderstorms you see off to your west and northwest will eventually move through Randolph County and right over Woodland. At the moment, they're not severe. We are noticing a weakening trend. As a matter of fact, this severe thunderstorm warning that we just got for the greater Gadsden area up there in Etowah County is the first severe thunderstorm warning we've seen the last 30 or 40 minutes in Alabama. So overall, we believe that line of storms has weakened. Could it ram back up? It certainly could. I wouldn't expect it, but there certainly could be a few rogue severe storms within this line. So we cannot let our guard down until we get this line of storms through the area. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Michael. He said he's just confirming that northern area I was just showing you is the one that went through Sardis. Yeah, confirmed injury through the Sardis Volunteer Fire Department. Good morning, Kyra. Attala is wet. Go back up here. That line of storms just moved into the Attala area, crossing over 59 right there out of Attala. So from Reese City down to Attala, down to Steele, very heavy rainfall moving into the area at this hour. Asheville's getting in on the action. Yeah, I don't see any indication of any tornadic weather right there, but certainly 40-mile-per-hour wind gust, torrential rainfall, and maybe some small hail, up to maybe pea-sized hail in the area as that storm continues to march toward Gadsden. Real heavy rain up there at Sand Rock, Leesburg, heads up Center, Cedar Bluff, Galesville. Things are improving in Crossville, Sardis City, Mountain Borough, Walnut Grove. I know a lot of these locations are foreign to most of you folks in East Alabama, but a heavily populated area up there around Center and Gadsden. Storm ramping up here in northern Cleburne, too, just north of the I-20 corridor. So if you're up there along I-20 looking north. You're seeing a good bit of lightning up there. Back over into northern Carroll, to Carroll and even up just north of Bremen. Very heavy rainfall. Good morning, Keith. Anniston's in good shape right now. I mean, we've got some heavy showers in the area, but nothing severe. 60% chance that we have less than severe sized hail taking place right there along I-20 near Anniston. But for the most part, Anniston's good. At the moment, we have no severe storms that are moving toward our part of East Alabama and West Georgia down here south of I-20 and north of 85. The only severe warning we have in Alabama at this hour is for that storm or this segment of the line that's moving through the Gadsden area. And that's going to move directly to the right or to the east. And that segment of the line will not affect location south of I-20. No, nothing for Chambers. I'm not talking about your town. You have nothing to worry about. Now, it's going to storm down there in Chambers later on this morning, but Chambers is not even in the tornado watch. At this time, that could change. We'll see. But right now, there's nothing down here in Chambers County, nor is there anything approaching Chambers County that's, close. All of this stuff you see to the north and west eventually will move through Chambers, but our hope is that these storms will not be severe when they move through. Lord knows, Chambers, Tallapoosa, Chambers, and Southern Troop does not need any severe weather this morning, and we're hopeful that it won't be. Now, you're going to get rain. You're going to have breezy conditions, whether you have thunderstorms or not. But hopefully we won't have to deal with severe weather down there. That area is still trying to recover from the storms last week. Yeah, Buffalo's in Chambers, and I just finished talking about Chambers, so hopefully that answered your question. And good morning, Kim. Good morning, K Branch. Good morning, Temple, Georgia. Look, it's Saturday morning. Unless we have severe weather up here in northeast Georgia, I am all yours. So we're going to hang with you for a while and watch these storms move through East Alabama and West Georgia. Again, our thinking is that this line will continue to weaken before it gets here. We've seen that trend over the last couple of hours. First broadcast this morning was around 3 a.m., and at that time we had a tornado warning and a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings. Basically, every county that was under the line in northwest Alabama was under a warning at 3 a.m. this morning. But since that time, we've seen the frequency of warnings slowly decrease. And at the moment, the only warning we have in the state of Alabama is for this storm that's coming through Gadsden. And it will be out of the state of Alabama shortly. A heads up, Bremen. That's a nasty looking little storm there. It's even got some inflow notches down here on the bottom, and that may be an anomaly. It may not actually be. Let's just look at that. Yeah, that's just real noisy. Let's hit Atlanta and see. It's going to freeze it. It's going to lock it up. You shouldn't have done that. Told you. All right, bear with me. We'll see if we can get it. Let's just switch to Radar Omega. All right, see, I was up in Arkansas last night looking at stuff, so let's get back over to, that's it right there. That's what I want to look at. Let's go in a little tighter. And let's switch to single site. What are we looking at here? That's Birmingham. I want Atlanta. And that would be FFC. Now let's go back in. All right, so we're looking at this from Atlanta. Okay, it doesn't look quite as significant there. Let's take a look at it in 3D. All right, so there's Jacksonville, and we're looking at the storm top to bottom, and then we're going to rotate it up, and let me zoom out just a shade. Now, let's go down here to around Peachtree City and look back at the storms, because that's the direction the storms are moving. You can see how tall these storms are. Now, why is that significant? Because the taller the tops of the storms, the more significant the storms can be. And you get up there around, 25, 30,000 feet. That's when you start to get into the severe weather stuff. And then, if you get on up into 35 and 40,000 feet, those are big daddy storms. And I don't see anything like that right now. There's certainly some 25 and 26, 27,000 foot storms there. But no big daddy storms at the moment. I just wanted to take a peek into this one up here from Anniston back over toward Villa Rica, and I don't see anything there. Let's get the WSV3 back up. Yeah, let's go back to Birmingham. And look at reflectivity. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be in Georgia. And this is going to be for that same thunderstorm complex that's coming through Gadsden. And I'll read you the verbiage on this. All right, y'all are just really not cooperating with me here. Severe thunderstorm warning for Floyd, Polk, and Bartow County of northwest Georgia until 7:15 a.m. this morning at 6:29. Severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from Fullerton to near Moss Hat to Ball Flat, moving to the east at around 65 miles per hour. The main hazard with this storm is 60 mile per hour wind gust. So there you go. That's a severe thunderstorm warning in Georgia for Floyd, Polk, and Bartow until 7:15 a.m. this morning. Places like Cedartown, Cartersville, Adairsville, you're going to get it, but you're going to get the extreme northern edge of it where I think the severe part's going to be a little bit to the south, but that looks pretty strong. So anywhere from Adairsville all the way down to Cedartown, maybe a little bit further south than that. Heads up this morning. Got a pretty good thunderstorm coming at you. Back down here in East Alabama, just some scattered showers across northern Randolph, scattered showers across western and southwestern Clay, back into Talladega, raining at this hour in Sylacauga and Childersburg. Rain just to the south of Talladega and just to the north of Talladega at the moment. This stuff that's running from Talladega all the way back up to Tallapoosa or Dallas, not severe, and it's not the main show. The main show is this secondary line that now stretches from Tennessee all the way back to Mississippi. And we do have a tornado warning up here in Tennessee. Let me touch that right quick. And this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. All right, where's the tornado part of this? Try that again. All right, here's a tornado warning for northwestern Cherokee. This is in Tennessee now. Northwestern Cherokee, northeastern Bradley, northern Polk, southern McMinn, and southern Monroe County. That is in Tennessee until 7 a.m. this morning, and that would be Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Charleston or near Benton, moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. Again, that's up there in Tennessee, north of McKaysville, to the southeast of Athens, Tennessee, or the northeast of Cleveland, Tennessee. And you can't see the reflectivity on it very good because we're looking at this from the Birmingham radar. So that's what we're looking at this morning, folks. Line of thunderstorms. Again, I know a lot of you are joining us this morning trying to figure out what's going on, because when you went to bed last night, it was just downright terrifying, all the way from Wisconsin to Texas. Massive storms and tornadoes and damage, and unfortunately, we are already seeing images of all the damage from yesterday afternoon and last night's storms off to our west and northwest. And this is that line, but it's not anywhere as strong as it was yesterday and last night. Thoughts and prayers to all the folks that are recovering from last night's storms, and we're very thankful these storms are not as strong as they once were. Strong winds and heavy rain. You're going to have strong winds today. You're going to have strong winds before the storms come through your area, while the storms are coming through your area, and after the storms exit. We're caught in that pressure gradient. So you're going to have strong gusty winds today, regardless of whether it's storming or not. So make sure you've got the Alabama state bird tied down. That would be the trampoline. If you're ahead of the line. If you're in the middle of it, don't worry about it. You can go get it out of your neighbor's yard after the storm's over with, and hope it doesn't do any damage. But if you're ahead of the line, anything you got out in your yard, you want to go secure it, because the winds will intensify when the line comes through. But it's going to be windy probably most of the day. Cheech says that he is in North Cleveland, Tennessee. So you're up there. You're closer to the section of the line that's stronger or more severe, or more capable of producing severe weather. But it's moving on off to your northeast. So I think Cleveland is slowly looking better up there this morning. Good morning, Lauren, South Carolina. Good to have you in here. Wadley, Alabama, over there on the West Bank. Good morning, Reba. It's not thundering in Roanoke. You may be hearing thunder in Roanoke, but the lightning, the closest lightning to you is just southwest of Mount Cheaha and just east of Anniston, up north of I-20. So if you're hearing thunder in Roanoke or seeing lightning off in the distance, it's pretty good a ways away from you, which isn't uncommon. I mean, you can see lightning and hear thunder from miles away. There have been many times, because we're up at a much higher elevation up here in northeast Georgia, but there have been several times I could hear thunder and see lightning flashes from like 50 or 60 miles away. So it's certainly possible. Well, Vivian, you got to have it programmed just for your county and the counties around you. I don't know I don't know exactly where you are. If you're receiving alerts for Georgia, then you got to be pretty close to the Alabama-Georgia state line, or you wouldn't be receiving them at all. But your weather radio has to be programmed, and it has to be just for your county or the counties that you want to receive. If it hasn't been specifically programmed, then it's wide open, and you're receiving every alert that your radio can hear. Yeah, that thunder you're hearing in Wadley also is back over along the Talladega-Clay County line, or either maybe up there around Anniston. Y'all, if you look at the screen, everywhere you see those little lightning bolt icons, that's the thunder, and that's where the thunder's coming from. Anyway, that's an indication of the latest lightning strike, and that's where you're hearing and seeing the thunder. Now, if it's a very weak strike, it's possible it wouldn't show up on radar. The way this works in all apps, most lightning indications on maps that you see on social media and television are actually detected by satellite from 22,000 miles in space. So if it's a very weak lightning strike, there's a possibility that it will not show on a map. But if it does show up on a map, it's significant. Now you can see there about around 120 strokes of lightning in that frame that you're looking at in the last couple of minutes. Most of it up there along that line that's just now coming into Birmingham. Yeah, those code red alerts come from your local emergency management, which is triggered by the National Weather Service. So if you're receiving a notification on your phone, that's coming from the National Weather Service, even though it may be coming through another third party. Every bit of this originates with the National Weather Service. There are just multiple ways to get that message to you. Code Red's one of those options. So we use Code Red here in White County, Georgia. That's our mass notification system as well. And so when we send, when the National Weather Service issues severe warnings for White County, Georgia, for instance, then if you have opted into our Code Red mass notification system, it will send you those alerts, which, like I said, originally come from the National Weather Service, and then we can go in and do our own local messaging as well, if we so choose or need to. Few counties in Alabama being released from the tornado watch. Pickens and Fayette have been released. Everybody else pretty much still in the watch until 8 a.m. this morning. Severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible. Bartow, Floyd, and Polk in Georgia. Let me just read this to you right quick. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7:15 a.m. Eastern this morning for Floyd, Polk, and Bartow counties. At 6:43 a.m. Eastern, severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from near Rome to Cave Springs to near Pleasant Gap, moving to the east at around 65 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gust. The main hazard with this storm. Again, the counties involved here would be Floyd, Polk, Bartow counties of northwest Georgia. It would be this area here, south of Calhoun, near Cedartown. And again, understand, we're looking at this from Birmingham, Rome, Cartersville, Cedartown, Rockmart. But even Birmingham's still picking this storm up pretty good. And this line that's coming through Galesville down to Center, down to South Side is what they're warning for. This is going to swing right through Cedartown and Rome. So that's what the warning is for. Back in Alabama, Sardis City, Collinsville, Albertville, Walnut Grove, you're in the clear. Even up there at Fort Payne, you're good now. Gadsden, things are starting to improve, and you'll be out of the danger zone here in just a few moments. If anywhere along I-59, things will start improving pretty quick. Argo, Springville, Asheville, all the way down into the northern burbs of Birmingham, Gardendale. You've still got some weather going on there, but you'll be okay here in a bit. Just torrential rainfall along I-20 now, from the Georgia-Alabama state line all the way back to west of Anniston, probably all the way back to the Supermotor Speedway. We have very heavy rainfall there along I-20. Bad ride this morning if you're traveling toward Birmingham. So the severe thunderstorm warning in Alabama has been canceled for Etowah, but continues for northern Calhoun and Cherokee. Confirmed reports from the National Weather Service from storm spotters of damage 1 mile northeast of Sardis City. Emergency management is reporting trees and power lines down near Alexander Road and Patterson Street. Possible tornado went through that area. That's the verbiage used when local emergency management says we had a tornado and the Weather Service says, well, okay, we've got to come survey that before we can say that for sure. That's the politically correct way to handle that because, and I'm not being critical, but everybody thinks they've had a tornado when there's damage, myself included. It's human nature to do that. But, you know, it may very well have been tornado damage. It's just got to be confirmed by the Weather Service before we can say that officially. Yeah, Vivian, good idea. If you're in Daviston, you've got to be picking up the LaGrange transmitter. I mean, that would be the closest. Georgia transmitter to you. So that's what's going on. You need to get it programmed so that it only acknowledges. I would suggest that you put, if you're in Daviston, I suggest you put Tallapoosa. I would put Clay, Tallapoosa in there so that, because your weather's either going to come from the northwest or west. And maybe Elmore and Coosa also. That way you just get a little more warning when severe weather's coming your way. Amanda says she woke up to a tornado watch in Wetumpka, Alabama. That is correct. Well, Amanda, there's no such thing as a general warning. You have either a tornado watch or a tornado warning. A watch means that conditions are favorable for severe weather and tornadoes in and close to the watch area. And then a tornado warning means that we actually have a tornado moving in your direction. At the moment, we don't have any tornadoes moving in your direction. We are under a tornado watch, and the primary reason for that watch is for all these thunderstorms you see across East Alabama and West Georgia. Yeah, we got something going on with the radar data there. That last volume scan just completely chopped off the west side of the state of Alabama. So don't pay any attention west of Birmingham until we get the next volume. So actually, it says the site's down. Well, that's interesting. So we had a thunderstorm move through the area there at the Shelby County Airport, and now we have lost connection with the site. Let me see if we can get level 3 to work. Yeah, it looks like we've lost our radar data. So let me try to refresh it one more time here. Okay, there comes level 3. All right, there we go. We're back. So yeah, that's what's going on. We're under a tornado watch until 8 a.m. this morning, primarily because of these storms that are moving into north central Alabama and west central Alabama. I'll tell you that at this time, we have no tornado warnings in the state of Alabama, and only one severe thunderstorm warning up there around Gadsden, now just east of Gadsden, moving into Georgia. So there's not a tremendous amount of severe weather out there. We're just watching this just in case these storms start to ramp back up. These are the same storms that moved through the upper mid-plains and across the Mississippi River Valley yesterday afternoon and last night and caused all the damage from Wisconsin all the way to Texas. So we've got to keep an eye on this stuff until we get it out of here. Thank you, Amanda. Glad I could help. Rock Mills in the house. Good morning. Summerville, Georgia. Good morning, Jesse. Yeah, same thing over there in Summerville. I mean, it's going to be a stormy Saturday morning. Hope is that we just stay below severe limits. You don't have any warnings in Wedowee or Clay. You have a tornado watch, which is in effect until 8 o'clock this morning. No warnings. Well, thank you, D. Reagan. I appreciate your kind words. Rome, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for a storm coming out of Alabama. State line rotation. Not sure what you mean there, Cody. Pine Hill, Alabama. Good morning, Chris. Heflin, Alabama in the hood. Good morning, Brandon. Let me go back up here and look at that storm's coming on into Cedartown pretty quick. Cedartown, Rome, 50-mile-per-hour straight line winds. Rome just took the brunt of it. All right, so the tornado watch has been canceled for Catoosa, Chattooga, Dade, Murray, Walker, in Whitfield counties of northwest Georgia. The tornado watch continues for Bartow, Carroll, Cherokee, Fannin, Floyd, Gilmer, Gordon, Haralson, Paulding, and Pickens and Polk until 7:30 a.m. Eastern. And if I had to put some money on it, I would say they are not going to extend this tornado watch any further east. For you folks up here in Gainesville, Dahlonega, Blairsville, Hiawassee, Helen, Cleveland, and points east, I don't anticipate an extension of this tornado watch. Now, last time I said that, I got proved wrong. But which didn't do much for the for the ego. But I don't think this is going to get extended much further east. We're seeing sporadic, strong to severe storms, but overall, just as we expected, overall, the intensity of these storms is weakening as it moves east. All right, folks, so I am going to take a quick break. We're going to leave the feed up, but I'm going to take a quick break and go replenish the coffee cup. Well, good morning and thank you, Granny. Granny is in the house. Well, thank you, James Spann. I don't think James is in here, but hey, I'll forward that to him about that. Nancy, thank you. It's James Strength or Don Spann. I taught him everything he knows. Timing on the storms for Anniston. Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, it could be another hour and a half to 2 hours before we get all this out of here. Beyond that, I wouldn't feel confident in what I would tell you because it's going to be hard to say exactly what time you're going to be in the clear. Good morning, Calhoun. No, we're glad to have you. Well, we've been covering the storms up there this morning. You're not in my primary coverage area, but anytime there's significant weather anywhere across Alabama or Georgia, I'm going to at least mention it. And if there's nothing else going on anywhere else, I'm going to spend time talking about it. So, Heard County SO in the house. Good morning, Stacy. Good to have you. Thank you, Dan. Nancy says that she is asleep and worried. You're a good multitasker if you're asleep, worried, and texting. There's nothing to worry about, Nancy. This is a minimal threat. It's not zero, but it's a minimal threat. Well, Daniel, we don't see the threat that we saw from these storms last night when we went to bed. I'll put it to you that way. We're not out of the woods, and we're not a zero threat this morning, but it's not nearly as significant as it was to our west and northwest. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Nancy. Potash Ridge up in the hood. There's some pancakes and some bacon going on somewhere on Potash Ridge. I just know it. Good morning, Becky. Well, there's Miss Truitt. Good morning. Y'all get ready for your next vehicle. Head on up to Roger Bell, Roanoke. He can hook you up. Do I think you can go back to bed in Roanoke? Well, I mean, that's your call. It depends on just how situational aware you want to be of severe weather possibilities. The threat has not ended in Roanoke by no shape, form, or fashion. I'm just saying that the storms that are headed our way are not as strong as they once were. Could that change before they make it into Randolph County, Roanoke? Yeah, it could. It's not a zero threat, but it's not a high threat either. So your level of situational awareness will have to dictate as to whether or not you should go back to bed. You know, if I'm going to play it safe and take the absolute least course of regret, I'm going to stay up until this line passes through, because there's always that chance. All right, so now we're getting verbiage from the National Weather Service out of Peachtree City. No plans to extend the watch into Metro Atlanta this morning. The showers increasing in coverage ahead of the main line of strong, severe storms may help to keep things stable and disrupt low-level inflow convergence. Now, that's exactly what I told you about 45 minutes ago. So the Weather Service now coming on board with my way of thinking. I'm joking, folks. Those folks at the National Weather Service are top notch. They know what they're doing. But yeah, they're just they're confirming my thoughts there that the rain that we see breaking out ahead of the main line is helping to stabilize the atmosphere. So we're not anticipating an outbreak of severe weather much further east than what we're seeing right now. But again, we got to pay attention until we get the line completely out of here, because there's never a zero chance as long as there is a thunderstorm of any shape, form, or fashion in the hood. No, Mook, you're correct. Bad driving conditions out there. Everywhere you see the red on the radar there is just copious amounts of rain. So not a good morning to be out there driving around for sure. All right, I've got to go fill up this coffee cup. I got to replenish the coffee, and well, I'll just leave it at that. I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. As our coverage continues here on your April Fool's Day, Saturday, April 1, on Dr. Don's Weather. Stay with us. Good morning, East Alabama to West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you with all kind of alerts going off. I think this is North Georgia. Hang on, let me check this right quick. Yes, this is we just got a severe thunderstorm warning for Dawson County for those of you up here. Let me just look at that right quick for those of you that are in Georgia. Let me switch to Atlanta. Yeah, see if that's going to work. While the radar is loading. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning now. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Cherokee County, Forsyth County, Dawson County, southern Pickens County, and northeastern Bartow. Severe thunderstorm warning until 8 a.m., which is about another 44 minutes or so. This is going to be for a line of severe thunderstorms that is moving toward Canton and will continue on off to the east and probably affect Hall County, southern Lumpkin, Hall County, maybe southern White, and eventually may affect southern Habersham and Banks County. So just kind of a heads up downstream. Let me switch to, let me take down the WSV. We need to restart that. Here we go with our radar Omega. Now we can see this. Here we go. So this is the warning for North Georgia now. It's going to be in this area. The storm's coming through Jasper and is now just west of Ball Ground and Canton. Moving to the east. So places like Dawsonville, Dahlonega, potentially Cleveland, Claremont, Gainesville, even as far south as Buford. Cold Mountain, Cumming, Flowery Branch, Marble Hill. If I've just mentioned your locations, or if you're close to any of those locations, heads up. You've got a line of strong thunderstorms off to your west moving to the east. We go back down here in Alabama. Zoom out. And I can tell you that if you're in Anniston, you've got one little cell there off to your west that's going to rotate through Anniston. Need to keep an eye on that. But nothing severe in Alabama. The backside of this stuff pushing through Birmingham now. Let me switch back to the Alabama radar. Take you in a little tighter. Yeah, so this is what we're looking like in Alabama now. We've got a few thunderstorms up there around Mount Cheaha. And then up there in Cleburne County, the main line is stretching from near Cedartown back down to around Anniston, back to Birmingham, and then to Tuscaloosa. Once we push that through here, we're done for the weekend. And as you can see, we're beginning to see these storms take on a scattered mentality instead of a strong line. It has become segmented. Which does increase the chance of one particular storm going severe, but it decreases the chance of one big, huge line pushing through the area. So got to take the good with the bad there. But the good news here, along with that thought process, is that we have no warnings in the state of Alabama at this hour. We have a couple of special weather statements, but no warnings. We'll see if that trend continues. We can get WSB3 back up and running. I believe we're having some data issues from the Weather Service is what the deal is here. But nonetheless, there we go. We've got it back. Let's see if we can get Birmingham back up. There we go. So That's what we're looking at right now. Strong thunderstorm up there on Highway 431 just as you cross into Cleburne County from Randolph. And then along I-20. I-20 is just a mess now from Birmingham really all the way to Atlanta. Just not a good ride at all. If you're headed to Atlanta or Birmingham and you don't absolutely have to go, I'd turn around and go back to the crib because that's just going to be a mess. Heavy showers and thunderstorms and rain now in Villa Rica up to Cedartown, back over toward Anniston, and really all the way back to Birmingham. No, West Georgia, you're not under a tornado watch. Carroll County is, but Heard, Troup, Harris, Coweta, Meriwether, Douglas County, Fulton, Cobb, Atlanta Metro, you are not under a tornado watch. The watch stops in Alabama with the exception of Carroll County. And that watch will expire at 7:30 Eastern, which is in just a few moments. We'll see if they're going to extend the timing on that one. They've already told us that they're not going to extend it any further east or south. Over the last couple of hours, we have seen, I'm multitasking, so y'all bear with me. Over the last several hours, we have seen a decrease in intensity on these storms. I mean, they're still strong, and there's still that possibility that we could have a rogue severe thunderstorm. But over the last several hours, couple of hours anyway, we have seen a general decrease in intensity with these storms. We have a special weather statement just in from the National Weather Service at Peachtree City. This is concerning that storm up in North Georgia. Strong thunderstorms will impact portions of Lumpkin, southeastern Gilmer, central Dawson, northeastern Pickens, southern Union, and southeastern Fannin County through 7:45. At 7:21, a line of strong storms was located along a line extending from near Pisgah to near Sequoia Lake to Jasper, and moving to the east at around 50 miles per hour, 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gust, frequent cloud to ground lightning, and heavy rain is possible with this line of thunderstorms. And that's going to be this area up here just north of Canton. Stretching from Canton all the way up to just east of Ellijay. And that's going to continue moving off to the east. And they're pretty much talking about the central and southern sections of that line, which is from Jasper back down to around Cartersville. That's the area of the storm that we have a severe thunderstorm warning. And then we have a special weather statement for the north end of all of that. If it holds together, heads up White County, Helen, Cleveland, you would be next in line possibly for a special weather statement. We'll see. And then down here in Hall County, Gainesville and Claremont, Flowery Branch, heads up for you as well. Good morning, Waco, out there on I-20. Heavy rain in Polk County, Georgia. No question about that. All quiet in Temple. You should be getting a little rain up there now. No, Carroll County is under the tornado watch. That is the only county in West Georgia that is under the tornado watch. The rest of the West Georgia counties are not. The folks understand tornadoes don't know jack about our human watches and warnings and colors and geographic markers. Understand that a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the formation of severe thunderstorms and possible tornadoes in and close to the watch area. So if I am in Heard County, if I'm in Coweta County, I'm going to pay attention to this, even though I'm not officially in the tornado watch. You're still close to the watch area. You touch the watch area, so you still need to pay attention to what's going on, because you sometimes can get warnings in areas that don't have watches in place. That's just a watch just means it's possible. A warning means it's happening. Hang on, I'm going to check that expiration time on the Georgia counties. It's possible we got that wrong because they did send out they sent the first bulletin they sent out had some bad information on it, and they may have corrected that expiration time. I thought 7:30 was a weird time. It's normally on the hour. Hold on, we're going to check it and see here if we can find it. Tornado watch until 9 a.m. That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Lacey, for catching that. So Carroll County remains under the tornado watch until 9 a.m. Eastern, and our Alabama counties, our East Alabama counties, are valid until 8 a.m. Central, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. That makes a whole lot better sense. Ginger says heavy rain, thunder, and lightning in Linlock, Alabama. That's the greater burbs of Anniston. Is Buffalo clear of rain? All right, let's have a little geography lesson here. Let me get you down here on the map, and let's pull up Buffalo, Alabama. Let's get down here in Chambers County first. That might help. All right, there's Buffalo, just north of Lafayette. We're in central Chambers County. You see right there? That's Buffalo. Now, let me zoom back out. Let me get back in where we can at least see Lafayette. And, folks, I don't control any of this. This is built into the program here. All right, there we go. There's Lafayette. So Buffalo's just north of Lafayette. You see all this red and yellow and green stuff up here? That's rain. All of this is moving east, and the entire system is sliding southeast. So all of this is coming your way, Lafayette and Buffalo. So to answer your question, Dwayne, you don't have rain at the moment, but it is definitely coming for Buffalo, Alabama. Good morning, Debbie. Good to have you in here this morning. Thank you for subscribing to Dr. Don's Weather over on the tube. We appreciate that, and that's a good idea because you folks who watch us over on Facebook, if you're solely relying on Facebook to let you know we're live, you're going to get let down. The way their algorithm works, they don't do timely notifications. So you got to go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel and click that little bell icon so that when we go live to cover severe weather, you'll get that push notification. Welcome aboard to our new viewers this morning. on YouTube. Thank you, Debbie. Good to have you. Lynn Bearden's in the house. Good morning to you. Good to see you, old friend. Yeah, so Lynn's asking what time do I think it will clear out from Roanoke to Birmingham. She's got kids traveling that way today. Well, Lynn, I can tell you, right now is not a good time to be driving between Roanoke and Birmingham in any shape, form, or fashion. You can see up here on I-20. It is just socked in with heavy rainfall now from where 431 intersects with I-20 all the way to Birmingham. I mean, you literally don't get out of the rain until you get to 459. So right now is not good. It's probably going to take at least an hour, maybe two, before we start to see some improvement up there on I-20. So we are, 6:32 Central. You know, I'm going to say at least 8:30 before things improve significantly up here on I-20. Good morning, Cassie. Game this morning in Newside. What you thinking about that way? Wet. Yeah, so here we are down at Newside. And that's in northern Tallapoosa County. And if you look back up here in Clay, and even further north up here along I-20 and back toward Birmingham, again, these storms are moving east, maybe a shade north of due east, but the entire line is moving southeast. So you see all this rain up here in Clay from Barfield back down to Sylacauga. All of that's going to eventually end up down here in northern Tallapoosa County. So it's going to be a wet morning. I'm maybe 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock, somewhere around mid-morning. Maybe all of this stuff starts to push on into Georgia and things will start drying out. Don't know what time your game is, but if it's at least late morning or early afternoon, I think you'll be okay. Gonna be muddy, but I think the rain will be gone. Gonna be windy also. Carry your kite with you. At this point, a question about Eagle Creek. At this point, I don't anticipate severe, widespread severe anywhere across East Alabama or West Georgia. Now, could there be a rogue severe thunderstorm? Absolutely, there could be. Could there be a rogue spin-up tornado at just about any point? Absolutely, there could be. But we're not forecasting widespread severe weather across Alabama or Georgia this morning. These storms have really calmed down from what they were last night. We went to bed. I mean, it was tragedy yesterday across the Mississippi Valley and up into Wisconsin, all the way back down to Houston, Texas. Multiple areas got clobbered with massive tornadoes last night, yesterday afternoon and last night, and there's a lot of damage, a lot of injury, and even some fatalities being reported. But these storms, and this is the same weather system that caused all of that destruction yesterday and last night. It is nowhere near as strong as it was yesterday. But having said that, we could see different parts of this line flare back up momentarily. So that's why we got to be careful until we get all of this out of here. So, all right, so the ball game's at 9 o'clock this morning down in Newside. Yeah, it's going to be a close call. I'd carry my umbrella with me. Very windy in Heflin. My weather radio's going off. Hang on just 1 second. Let me silence that thing. Don't want to disturb the wildlife of Northeast Georgia. I had to silence that one. And let me just see, because that's for my area. Let me see what we've got here. All right, so we have special weather statement now for White County, Georgia. Strong thunderstorms will impact portions of Lumpkin, southeastern Gilmer, central Dawson, northeastern Pickens, southern Union, and southeastern Fannin County through 7:45 a.m. this morning. So that's up here where I live. I live in White County. So let me go back to Atlanta. And let me go up here and take a look at this. So I live right here in the southeastern corner of White County, almost due east of Dahlonega. Most of you know where that's at. So, yeah, that's a pretty good line of thunderstorms coming at White County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern sections of this down in Dawson County. Would anticipate that we see that warning extended further east, probably going to get Hall County here at pretty much any moment. And it wouldn't surprise me if they upgrade the northern sections of this to a warning as well. We'll see. But certainly gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour can be expected in Dahlonega, Helen, Cleveland in the next, well, actually it's coming into Dahlonega now. So heads up Helen, heads up Cleveland, heads up Claremont down here in northern Hall County. Pretty good-sized thunderstorm coming your way. And I may have to stop our live this morning. Let me look at a couple of things here. Oh, thank you, Julie Bolt. Appreciate your kind words. We love having you here. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate those kind words. Oxford, Alabama, well, we got to get this line completely out of there, but it is, right now, there's nothing threatening the Oxford area at the moment. All right, folks, I apologize for, I've got multiple things going on here. Now we've got weather moving into my area of responsibility up here in Georgia. For those of you who don't know, most of you do that follow me, but for those new folks on here, I'm an emergency manager up in Northeast Georgia. I work for White County. I am the Deputy EMA Director, the 911 Division Chief, and all things in between when it comes to public safety up here in White County, Georgia. I'm originally from East Alabama, spent 22 years in Roanoke, Alabama, so that's why I do weather for East Alabama and West Georgia, and also I'll pay attention to North Georgia weather if it's something significant. But here's the deal. When we have severe weather moving into my home county and my area of responsibility, then obviously that has to be priority. That's my daytime job. That's how I put groceries on the table. So what I'm going to have to do for the moment, we have no threatening weather in East Alabama or West Georgia. We have that line of thunderstorms that now stretches from about Alabaster over to Talladega, over to Carrollton, along and just south of I-20. And that's slowly moving east-southeast and will eventually encompass Talladega, Clay, Randolph, and then into West Georgia. But there's nothing severe down there. You are under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern this morning. But since I have got severe weather or potentially severe weather moving into my area of responsibility, I am going to have to end our live at this time. so I can pay attention to that. I'm also keeping one eye on East Alabama and West Georgia, and if there were to be any warnings issued for any of our coverage areas there across East Alabama and West Georgia, I'll be right back with you. So keep watching us, watching for us on Facebook. Again, folks, if you haven't done it, go to YouTube and follow us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you click on that little bell icon so you get immediate notification when we go live for severe weather. And I will definitely come back and at least update you as soon as the coast is clear up here. Thank you for joining us this morning, and we'll be back with you as soon as possible here on Dr. Don's Weather.